All right, we a couple of weeks ago, maybe longer than that, Sharon calls me and she says, "Hey, I just talked to a guy named Steve Ouellette, and he's a student over at UNCC, and he's in an MBA program, and he wants to do this. He's doing an entrepreneurial course, and they need to." Well, let me introduce you to him. This is Steve Ouellette. He's from UNCC. We asked him to come in today and see if we can help him get to the $10,000 that he's trying to raise for Kids First. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks, John.
And you're a listener as well.
I am. I listen to you pretty much every day on the ride home. Been doing it for a few years now.
And is that the reason you picked Kids First? I'm kind of assuming there based on what Sharon told me, but is that how you learned about Kids First, was just listening to us?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the genesis of it. We were given this assignment, and it wasn't exactly clear what to do. It was pretty straightforward from the standpoint. It's, well, you got to form a venture, make as much money as possible. It can't be immoral or illegal. And that was all the directions. And so we kind of sat down and figured out, well...
that cuts down your options.
I know.
It's got to be legal and moral. I mean, both? Come on.
So we as a group were trying to think of, well, we only have a short period of time because we have to raise as much money as possible by the 22nd of October.
Is that their deadline, the class's deadline?
That's the class's deadline, our group. So we're, I don't know if we're technically competing against the other teams, but there's two other teams in the group, and no one knows what the other each team is doing. And so...
although they may know, I mean, if they were to hear BT, then they would know what you were doing,
right.
But it really wouldn't make any difference.
That's right, because I got you on my side here. And so, yeah, just listen to the show. In the last couple of years, every time around Christmas, hearing about the Sharon and Wendy's organization, I've been telling my wife each year, want to do something for this group, whether it's give some money or some time. And I got 3 kids myself, 6, 4, and 2. And, they got it pretty good. And this is a great organization that helps kids that, might not have hope at this Christmas, without.
This is an entrepreneurship course. Is that what they?
Yes.
And what does that mean? What is the basis for that? In other words, what's the structure of that?
Well, it's really designed to not necessarily teach us how to be an entrepreneur, but give us an understanding if we have what it takes to be an entrepreneur or not. And so
that's a good point.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because unfortunately, most businesses fail, and just this venture here, it's already giving us a taste of the challenges of what a small business owner or an entrepreneur would have as far as just trying to get people to buy into this idea, even though it's not for profit. We still, are at times struggling getting the people to buy into what we're trying to do.
So this is supposed to be a fundraising type of mechanism?
It can be for profit or not for profit. We went for the not for profit route.
And you don't know what the other two teams have what they're doing?
No idea.
So they could come back and say, well, we invented the wheel.
Yeah, it could be a solar-powered flashlight or a parachute that opens up on impact, something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so you've been up online on this GoFundMe site, which is on the Hancock page at WBT.com for what, 8 days,
yes.
9 days, something like that?
Yep.
And we're at, you tell me.
$1,600, $1,590 to be exact, with 22 folks that have been very charitable to us.
And you're getting your people through, I know you fleeced your family until
yes.
they basically told you, no, you're on your own.
Yep. So some folks with the family, I got 3 team members in my class. They've been reaching out to their various networks, and we're working through a couple other ideas to try to raise awareness about the program.
When you approach people that don't have any idea about Kids First, what do you say to them?
I really tell them the story. I talk about how it's a grassroots organization, Wendy and Sharon, and you met with Sharon, did you not? We did. I met with both of them, and I mean, it's amazing. These ladies start with 0 every year in terms of a budget, and they do so much good. I mean, when you think about Christmas alone, about 1,000 kids at $80 a kid, you do the math, starting at 0.
Yep.
And Thanksgiving, hoping to feed about 50 families, and that's probably $40 to $50 a family. And they got needs throughout the year, and that's part of why I know it's a little bit early. We're not the Christmas carols aren't starting yet, probably after Halloween, right?
This is early for us because we don't normally get into it until about November. But and I don't totally ignore them around Thanksgiving, but I kind of ignore them around Thanksgiving because I kind of have this philosophy that I can only be on the air for so long begging about stuff, and we've really kind of cornered the Christmas part of it. But your timing on this is excellent because Sharon and Wendy can't say no to anybody.
Right.
And they know every situation in town. The people who fall through the cracks of all the agencies and everything, they catch them. And they started doing Thanksgiving a couple of years ago, same way the Christmas thing. You know, first year, Sharon takes care of about 4 families, and before you know it, we're taking care of 1,000 kids. Right. They started feeding a few families 5 or 10 years ago or whatever it was. And what are they doing? 75, 100 dinners now, or family dinners for Thanksgiving. So the money that you raised, despite whether it makes them $10,000 or not, is going to aid them in their Thanksgiving and kind of get us started for Christmas, because you kind of need some seed money just to get started.
That's right.
So, all right, hang on for a second.
Sure.
We'll come right back to you. Steve Ouellette is his name, and if you would like to contribute to his cause, and listen, I'm talking, if you got $5 or $10, throw it in there. Because that's all we're trying to do is take as many people as we can and help him raise the $10,000. Go to the Hancock page at WBT.com, and you'll see a headline there that says raise money for Kids First or donate to Kids First or something like that, and click on that, and it'll take you to his GoFundMe page. And we'll see if we can't be instrumental in helping with the $10,000. You don't have $8,000 we can borrow, do you, a Boomer?
No, I'm start digging. Come on.
6,000, 5,000, 4,000. You got a grand?
Let's go. Come on.
$500. You got a buck?
Let's go.
Traffic and
it's
weather.
a great cause too. Gosh,
it's always a great cause.
Really
Kids First is people who listen to the station, I think, probably know about Kids First. So,
yes, sir.
Every year, just about right now, it seems like somebody steps out of the darkness and says, hey, I want to help you with your Kids First deal. And it usually motivates us. I mean, we've had kids that have done collections and I don't know, but there's always somebody that kind of kickstarts us for the Christmas season. So here we are on October the 8th. And you think, oh, well, we still got plenty of time, but it's, 2.5 months, but we're there. And then you add in Thanksgiving and Halloween and all that kind of stuff. And this will be the fastest 2.5 or 3 months that you've ever seen. So actually, my guest that's in the studio with us right now, Steve Ouellette, timing is perfect because Sharon and Wendy of the Kids First organization are going to do what they always do, and they've always done it strictly on their own, and that's try to help people around Thanksgiving before we get full-fledged Christmas. So Steve is over at UNCC, and he's in an MBA group. What's your major?
Yeah, I'm taking a concentration in management.
Yeah. Where are you originally from?
Rhode Island.
Oh, we were just talking about Rhode Island.
I didn't want to say that I'm from up there because you gave a guy a hard time yesterday about being from Massachusetts. So
yeah, but we're just almost dissing the people from the South because there is some other mentality is don't tell us how you did it up north down
That's
here.
Right.
But you know what? We've become such an exclusive city unto ourselves. Now that we're world class, we don't worry about those damn Northerners
That's
anymore.
Right. I've been here from 6 years, so I'm fully acclimated.
Now, how did you get to Charlotte?
Work.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we lived in Raleigh-Durham for a couple of years, and we ended up going back because most of our family's in New England. It was one of these things where, family stuff and my old firm asked us to come back out of the blue, and we made a decision to go back. But we really enjoyed Raleigh-Durham. We loved being in the South. And an opportunity came up, which was more of the direction I wanted to go anyways, and I was fortunate to have this opportunity.
And then UNCC came after that?
Yeah, I'm an older MBA student. I'm, 39 years old, so I went back a little bit later. Company I work for gives a good amount of help towards getting a degree, so I figured why not, and fortunately my wife's really supportive about it with 3 kids under 6, so we got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's very cool. You had said that we'll probably meet your kids around Christmas time when we're doing the wrapping of the presents on Saturday or something like that, so I'll look forward to that. Your family will, I love it when people can see it.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that give money to it, and obviously when we get to the actual kids' party on Sunday, we kind of close the doors just from a security standpoint, and we got more than we can handle in a small room anyway, but people that come out on that Friday night bike drive, I mean, that's just taking on a life of its own, and the Saturday wrapping thing. Steve has got a project for an entrepreneurship course, and he's formed this venture with Sharon and Wendy at Kids First, and by the 22nd of October, his initial goal is to raise $10,000. So got about $8,400 to go or something like that.
Yep.
But he's only been up for 8 days. So if you're interested in helping him out, go to the Hancock page at WBT.com and donate a couple of bucks. And I'm serious. If a whole bunch of you would donate, $5 or whatever, it'll all add up. And if we get to the goal of $10,000, that's great. But if we completely screw up and only come up with $6,000, well, that feeds a lot of people at Thanksgiving. Sharon and Wendy would be doing backflips. So whatever it comes out to be. Now, what happens if you don't raise the thing? They flunk you out of UNCC. They take away your family.
No,
I
think we'll be okay. It probably depends on how the other teams do in terms of how much money they raise. But again, we don't know what projects they're doing, if they're doing not-for-profit or for-profit. But I'm pretty confident our grade will be okay. It's all about the effort and talking about what worked well and what didn't.
You will find out what they're doing. Will you find out what they're doing on the 22nd?
On the 22nd, I'll be flying back from Orlando from work and be giving the presentation that night.
Well, you'll have to touch base back with us because I'll be anxious to see what goes on.
Absolutely.
Hancock page, WBT.com. It says donate to Kids First or something like that. Click on that and then click to go to his GoFundMe page. And let's help him get to his $10,000 goal. Hey, thank you for thinking of Kids First. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Hancock audience. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, very cool. Steve Ouellette from UNCC. Hancock page, WBT.com.